Alright, so we came out to find chanterelles, and we haven't found any chanterelles yet, but exciting, very, very exciting. This is our second chicken of the woods we've discovered. So Patrick's getting ready to get in there and cut that out. You know, we've never had chicken of the woods, but we've always wanted to try it. So this is really, really an exciting moment. So, like I said, this is the second one we found so far, and the first one filled up one of our 1-gallon buckets. Isn't it exciting, Patrick?
Oh yeah. Pretty cool.
Very cool.
Foraging for your own food.
Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. Well, today's video is really exciting to me because yesterday Mr. Rain and I went out food foraging, and initially we were looking for chanterelles. Well, we never actually found any chanterelles, but what we did find was chicken of the woods, and we were very excited about that because we've never actually tried it before and we've been wanting to. So we actually found quite a bit of it. We found three good size mushrooms, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about that and what little I know. And we also, while we were out and about, collected a few salal berries and greens, and I'll be talking about that. Alright, before I get started on showing you what I'm going to do, at least with some of the chicken of the woods and the salal, I want to talk a little bit about the health benefits. Chicken of the woods is a really good source of protein and fiber, and it is also high in vitamins B, C, D, and K. Now that is pretty exciting in itself because you really need vitamin K in conjunction with vitamin D to get the full benefits of it. And that is why we should be looking at always trying to get our vitamins and minerals in the form of whole foods, because what you're going to find typically in nature, that anything that is high in vitamin D also is high in vitamin K. Butter is one of those things. So you have those two things, you're already taking them in the whole food form, in the healthy whole food form, and you're getting those nutrients together, working in conjunctions with each other. So that is just really great. So that's a little bit about the chanterelles and your health benefits. Now for the salal berries and the greens, they grow prolifically all over the place. In fact, my son has a whole bunch growing on his property, but since we were already out in the woods getting this stuff, we just went ahead and collected some of that from there. And the berries are often used in jams and jellies and stuff like that. Now me personally, I've never harvested salal and never used it for anything, and their health benefits are about the same as blackberries, and because blackberries are some ways easier to pick and get a whole bunch more, and I prefer the taste of blackberries over the salal, I'm going to be sticking with that for jams and jellies and the like. But now let me show you a close-up of a salal berry. You can see it is very dark in color. Now what you're going to find about berries, or just about any kind of fruit, typically is going to be berries, that is really dark in color like this, is it's going to be very high. I'm going to break one open so you can see the inside. It's a little lighter on the inside, very much like a blueberry, but much darker. It's going to be very high in antioxidants, which is really great. And of course you're going to have your vitamin C and all that. Now, you know, cancer fighting antioxidants. Now the greens were traditionally used for medicinal purposes such as colds and flus and coughs, you know, especially when taken in a tea or a tincture form. It can also be chewed up and used topically for wound care, and it also used to be used to help cure tuberculosis, which is pretty interesting in itself. So I'm going to be dehydrating the whole kit and caboodle up, saving the berries and the greens out, and then using them in my medicinal tincture and cough and cold syrup that I use with my elderberry. So I'm going to be mixing it in together and trying to get the most out of that, and maybe saving a few greens aside for using in the form of a tea. I don't have a whole lot here for doing that with, but I know where I can get tons more, so some of that will be probably used in the future, and we can get lots of this, so it's no big deal. So on to what I'm going to do here. Now we just carefully rinsed off the chicken of the woods and cut out any bad parts. And I'm going to be cutting a bunch of it up and dehydrating it for future use. And then tonight I'm going to be making a dinner out of this. Apparently chicken of the woods is supposed to taste somewhat like chicken depending on how you prepare it and stuff, which is thus where it gets its name. It's also called chicken fungus and a couple other names. We around here commonly call it chicken of the woods. And so I'll be doing a recipe video on that later today. So watch for that to come out maybe in the next week or a few days from this one. I'm gonna get to cutting and putting on the dehydrating trays and getting out there on the dehydrator. Alright, I'm stopping in mid-process because I want to show you just how nice and clean this looks. And this is just a real nice looking one here, and you can get a close-up of, if you've never seen chicken of the woods, you know, it has this bright orange color. It's got these nice little striations. It's very smooth on the bottom, like this. Sometimes this will be white, and sometimes it will be more yellow, like this. I'm going to go ahead and insert a couple of pictures of what these look like on the sides of the stumps that we collected them from. So here's a couple pictures for you to check out. Alright, now that I got it all chopped up, I was surprised, sort of, mildly surprised to see how much it made. So I've got this real nice bowl. This is actually pretty heavy. This stuff has a lot of weight to it, more than what you would think for a mushroom. It's pretty dense. And this should be more than enough for me and Mr. Rain for dinner tonight. But just because I know the way mushrooms have a tendency to cook down, I went ahead and wanted to pile it high. But I have a feeling it's not going to cook down very much. That's for the dinner for tonight. So watch for that video coming in the future. And then I have 4 trays of the mushroom to dry. And I've dehydrated chanterelles before, and they are excellent. Dehydrated them and vacuum seal into the jars, and those were just really great to have on hand for meals. I could just rehydrate them and then add them into whatever else, whether it be I was making soups or a stir fry. So that's what I plan on doing with these. But I'm really hoping to get a lot more of this in the future as we go out and do a little bit more foraging, so we can have more fresh as well as having plenty frozen up. Especially if it can replace chicken. I mean, how cheap is that? And for you vegans out there, there's a choice. There's an option there to have something with, you know, that's kind of like chicken apparently, and still keep your vegan meal. And then I have 3 trays of the salal berries and greens. And again, I just threw them on all like this. And my plan is once it's all dehydrated up, I'm going to strip everything off of there and then use them all in the same thing together, since the berries themselves are just going to be really high in those good vitamins that will help you to get over colds and flus and all that. And then we know that the leaves themselves have that medicinal property. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video and that maybe you learned something new. Thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.